everyone, my name is Carmen from New Leaf Designs and welcome to my February check-in video for my Year of Stash 2025. This year I'm trying to use up as much of my yarn stash as I possibly can, and to motivate myself I'm weighing my projects each month so I know exactly how many grams of yarn I've used up, and that not only motivates me but it also gives me a kind of idea for future years what I can feasibly knit up in a year or in a month. Just so I know if my stash isn't completely out of hand, which I actually already know it is. So we're gonna get into measuring my projects for this month and seeing how much I've used up, and at the end of the video I'm going to share my new make-along that I'm gonna start in March, which is really gonna motivate you to finish those projects that you actually really don't want to work on, but we're gonna work on them starting March 9th. So keep watching to the end and I'll tell you what that's all about. Let's get started. So I've got my notebook. If you saw my video last month, the one for January, you'll know that each project I've worked on this month I will weigh, and I have some stats from the beginning of the month and I can compare those and calculate how much yarn I actually used. So I have been working mostly like from mid-December. I've been working on a secret project, so I can't show you those works in progress, but I can show you evidence that I made them. So last month I completed 1, 2, 3, and 4. The fourth one was still in progress at the moment, at that point. So I had 3.5 things done, and now I've completed this one. So I've already weighed this one to like measure or calculate the difference. I also made this one, and I just this morning cast off this one. So again, I've done 3.5 things. Let's weigh those. I've got my scales and we have 138 grams. Last month I worked a lot on my crochet granny squares blanket because I thought that was going to use up so much yarn, but then I was kind of disappointed by the amount I actually used up because it was 175 grams. And yeah, I mean, it's still a lot, but it wasn't so much as I thought it would be. But the brioche shawl that I had been working on, I'd only worked on that for an evening or two and just like very casually, and I used up 24 grams. I don't know, it seemed like a lot to me. So I'm such a scatterbrain knitter, so I have so many projects that I just pick up every now and again. So I did not work on the blanket, but I did pick up this shawl just for an afternoon. I think it was even for like half an hour. So I did weigh it and there's only 4 grams difference, but it's still 4 grams. I'm still gonna count it because I want this to be accurate. But then I really started thinking, okay, what would be a really smart move? How can I use up a chunk of my yarn? And so I dug out some really I don't even want to say deep stash, ancient stash, because I bought this in 2013. It's Drops Eskimo. I don't even think they still have this yarn. And it says excellent for felting, and I always wanted to do some felted booties. That's what I initially bought it for. I made a granny square poncho in 2014, which I did not wear a lot, so I ended up unraveling the joints so that I just had the granny squares, and I made it into a kind of a felted mat, which I then used for a while. But I still have some balls left, and now I don't even have a dryer, so I can't make felted things. But what I can use it for is a pot holder, because I use my handmade pot holders all the time. You'll see the one that I've been using so far, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So I used this yarn, which is 100% wool, and a 5mm crochet hook. And I used one ball for one circle. I made two, and I then felted them together. And it's so nice. When I just had the singular circles, they were kind of feeling like a little bit floppy, but these are actually really nice. It would be so nice to have like a leather tag on them, or maybe a fabric tag or something I can hang it with, or just for a little bit of interest, just like a fabric tag. Yeah, I actually really like these. So I will be using these two for another pot holder. And I kind of already know how much this is going to weigh because I used exactly 2 balls for it, but let's see. Yep, 100 grams. And while I was digging out ancient stash, I also found a little ball of fuzzy yarn, and I didn't really know what to make with it because I only had one tiny ball. So I started to crochet a pot holder or a washcloth, but I quickly found out that it wasn't going to be enough. So I made 2 wristbands. I've been taking some fitness classes, and I just thought I'd give it a try. I really don't know what I would have used for, so you might think it's a waste, but I have actually used them. Sometimes they actually get a bit too warm on my wrists, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but I might use them as wind stoppers in my coat instead. So let's see how much this weighs. 26 grams. Pretty good. Now let's talk about my old pot holder, and I need to warn you because this thing is filthy. When I first started to, knit and crochet, I mostly crocheted, and I really loved working with t-shirt yarn, like the hooked spaghetti yarn. But at some point I thought, okay, well, I can also knit with it. I knew it was going to be super heavy, but I don't know where I got the idea from, probably Pinterest, but I saw that you could make a pot holder with it, and I thought that's going to be amazing for, my lasagna dishes or other kind of oven casseroles. And it has been arguably the most used thing I have made, because I've used it almost every week since I made it in 2015. But I've always just kind of like wiped stuff off it. I've never thrown it in the wash because it's so heavy it might damage the washing machine, and I did not want to wash it by hand, so it is filthy. So you can see well, you can see it better when you see the newer portion, because I still had some yarn left over from this very same ball, and I thought, well, I can make a new one, or I can undo the cast off and continue knitting on it. You can see this is the new portion. Do you see how fresh this is, and then how dirty this is? It kind of matches my wall. Unintentional. And I hear you saying, what are you going to use such a long pot holder for? But I'm actually not going to use it for inside the house. I'm going to use this as a knee pad for when I'm in the garden, pulling out weeds or whatever. So I figured it's already dirty. I don't mind if it gets more dirty. So I'm just going to use it as a knee pad, which I think is pretty handy. I've already used it when I just wanted to put a hair mask in yesterday, and I put it on the bathroom floor, and yeah, it's really nice. So that's a win. And this is gonna be really, really heavy. I weighed the, you know, the pot holder before I added onto it, and the pot holder before I added onto it was 421 grams, and looking at it, I almost doubled the length. So last month I used up 381 grams. This one thing might be more than I used up the entirety of January. Okay, it is 765 grams, which I need to subtract the 421 from. So hold your horses. So that's 344 grams. Yeah, that alone is almost as much as I used up last month. I posted a picture of this to Instagram, and I was saying, like, is this cheating? Is this, should I have done this differently? Should I have done meters? I probably should have done meters, but then I already know I would not even calculate it, but because it was just a step, another step, I would not have done it. So this is enough to motivate me, and in the grant overview, I will put an asterisk at this month, just so I know this is perhaps not a feasible amount to use up in 1 month. Then what I also made, but did not use any yarn, but I still wanted to show you because it is super cute, is this picture frame where I put in loads of knickknacks from, you know, years ago, from my childhood, and this was my favorite cassette tape, the Working Out Barbie tape, and yeah, just some of my favorite things. I saw this on Pinterest and I thought it was so fun, so I did this in a weekend, and I also put in some, you know, crochet swatch, and I just thought it was super, super cute. And yeah, because I have been wanting to get more wall art, I want to get more stuff on this wall. We currently have 3 things on this wall, and it's looking a little sparse. And this will go in my studio, so it's not for this wall, but I wanted to show you because I thought it was really, really cute, and it's all over Pinterest at the moment, at least for me. But making that piece of wall art also made me remember that I have this frame kit for a punch needle project, and if you haven't seen my punch needle project vlog yet, I will link it here, because it's really, really fun. I got a frame at The Range, which is a store here in the UK. They have everything from furniture to craft supplies to toys to kitchen stuff, and I picked up this frame, or this punch needle kit, but it had some tacky autumn print on it, like almost live, love, laugh. So I wanted to do something else, and luckily you can't see the original print through it, so that's a win, because framing a punch needle, you know, that's what always stopped me in the past, because that's the finishing bit, you know, the fun part, the punch needle, is already over, and then I don't have enough motivation to actually finish the thing. So having it on a frame is amazing. Since punch needle really usually uses a lot of yarn, I'm really, really interested to see how much this weighs. So I weighed the frame before I started adding onto it. The frame itself was 432 grams. So we're gonna calculate the difference. Okay, it's not as much as I was hoping. 483 grams, still 51 grams. Pretty good. I mean, for a project that was kind of more like a palette cleanser, I needed this in order to feel excited for my other projects. So for a palette cleanser, that was pretty good. And I think that might have been all I made. Pretty good. I made the knee pad, the pot holder, the punch needle, a little bit on the shawl, the secret things, and the wristband. Okay, so we're gonna add everything up. Place your bets. So we will see 51 grams for the punch needle, plus 344 for the knee pad, plus 100 for the pot holder, plus 138, plus 4 grams, plus 26 for the wristbands. We have a grand total of 683 grams. I am pretty happy with that. Pretty happy indeed. 683 grams for the whole month. For the shortest month of the year, that's pretty good. And it is finished in February. Apparently, I only found out a week ago. I do want to quickly see. Okay, without the knee pad, which was the heaviest project, I still used up 339 grams. So still pretty good, pretty good. For a month where my knitting mojo was not its best, pretty good. So let's talk about this make along, shall we? Because I have this idea. I have so many works in progress. I just need to finish them. So I am going to host the Alright Fine make along. The idea is that we all have these projects that we feel like, do I have to work on it? Yes, you do. Alright, fine. Those projects, that's the ones we're going to be working on. I know it's not fun, but you're going to feel so great when you finally finish them or get a chunk of work done on them. I already know a couple that I'm going to be working on. I have at least one project from 2017, so it's older than a lot of people in the world. We are going to start this make along on March 9th. It's not gonna go on for too long because we just need a quick 2 weeks to work on them because we don't want to wallow in them for too long. So we're gonna start on March 9th and we're gonna finish on March 23rd. Actually, let's do March 9th to March 30th. Because then it'll be 3 weeks and I can do a little recap of that together with my end of the month of March roundup. The hashtag will be the Alright Fine make along. I'll put it on the screen and you can enter with any projects that you feel no motivation for. Let's motivate each other to actually work on them. You can use the hashtag on Instagram, on Facebook. You can join my Facebook group, which is the New Leaf Knitting and Crochet Crew. For my Patreon supporters, I also have a WhatsApp group where we chat about make-alongs, which is also going to be lots of fun. So if you're a Patreon subscriber, check my posts for the WhatsApp group link and you can totally join. Yes, let's get stuff done, shall we? It's a little challenge. I think it will be fun. So if you are participating in the Year of Stash, do let me know how many grams you used up this month. On Instagram, we are using the hashtag Year of Stash 2025. So please tag your pictures with it, or tag me in your comments. And yeah, let's motivate each other to get through that stash. It's a year of challenges. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in my next one. See you next time. Bye bye.